project of making these wines come from the deep connection, deeply rooted connection between my family and this terroir, Irpinia. My family was original of this terroir, and even if we started making wine only for Italy, only 35 years ago, it's a connection that is strong. Wine was never missing at our table. I remember my grandmother and my grandfather having wine all the time at their table. And I think this culture of wine, a culture of wine producing, wine making, and wine growing has been part of Irpinia forever. And my family has been here forever as well. So this connection is strong. And I wanted to express this connection in two wines. Of course, the experience that my family made in Feudi was critical in selecting the variety and in selecting the vineyards, because these two are two single vineyards, critical in understanding how to make wines that stand out, and also how to make mature wines, mature in terms of the producer making it. These two wines, they are also the sign of the maturity that we achieved over time and the knowledge that we accumulated, and we are able now to share with people who will drink this wine. On one hand, there is a white wine, there's Goleto. Goleto is the name of one of the most beautiful monuments that we have in Irpinia. It's an abbey in Sant'Angelo dei Lombardi, in the high part of Irpinia. It's of the 12th century. It's a wonderful place, mysterious, full of life at the same time. There are symbols on the walls that you don't know exactly what they mean. And at the same time, you are like enlightened by spirituality and by light, simply, when you go there. And it's one of the places I like to visit. And during a visit there with my wife a few years ago, we decided that it was time to make a wine that really expressed our way of seeing wine and our experience in making wine. And that's how Goleto was born. Goleto is a wine that wants to go a little bit beyond the traditional or conventional ideas, some conventional ideas. One is that Italian white wines don't age. Second is that the market is asking you the wine a few months after the harvest and you need to release it. The third is that Greco doesn't like oak aging. We release these wines 2 years after the harvest, and it's still like a young baby. We believe it has an incredible potential, so longevity is there. At the same time, we do some oak aging, small, balanced. A part of the cuvée goes through amphora for the same time, 6 months, when the other goes through oak. And it's a used tonneau coming from Bourgogne. When the oak is integrating in the wine can only be better. But the important thing is that the hand doesn't overcome the land. The hand doesn't overcome the vineyard. The producer doesn't show off anything that the vineyard itself doesn't allow. And so I think that what is unique of this wine is that it comes from a vineyard that is iconic in the area of Tufo. It's a vineyard rich in minerals. It's a vineyard with a very peculiar exposure. It's a vineyard with a very low yield. And the yield is important because the concentration of the wine, the structure of the body, the capability to age, they're all related to the natural conditions of this wine, where this wine is made. And we decided that together with Goleto, we wanted a red wine. And we wanted a red wine that at the same time was the highest appellation. So we went, of course, for Taurasi, so in Aglianico. And again, we were able to select, thanks to the long experience in Feudi, through a project called Feudi Studi, we were able to select the parcel that was more intriguing for us. A parcel that is absolutely different from the others. In good years, it gives regular wine. In difficult vintages, it gives incredible wine. So for us, this idea of counterintuitive wine is something that we really liked. And we started with 2015, which was a difficult vintage for Aglianico in general, but in the vineyards that were more expressive was an incredible vintage, remarkable, as it was in many other places of Italy. Guglielmus derives its name from Saint Guglielmus, which was the founder of Goleto. So there is a trade union in the history of these two wines. And Guglielmus was a very important saint that traveled all the way from Vercelli, was born in Vercelli, so in Piedmont, all the way north to southern Italy to create different monasteries. Two of them are very important for Irpinia. One is Montevergine, and the other one is Goleto. One was masculine, the second one is feminine. And Goleto, for me, is the most charming. It has been restored after the earthquake in 1980, and it has been perfectly restored. And it's a place really full of inspiration.